Well, tell us why it's important to hold this type of workshop and include our supporters in what we're doing.
I felt it was really important because we've done so much work within the club now, and within kind of schools in the local area. I get so many supporters coming up to me on match day saying like, oh, it's great what you're doing, and we're really interested, or tell me a little bit about their stories and their lives. And I felt the time was perfect now to involve the supporters and give them the opportunity to learn a bit more about what we're doing.
Sport is the unifying glue that kind of cements everyone together. So this partnership with Oxford United is so important to us, because when it comes to suicide prevention, having key partners at Oxford United to spread the word out around all the fans and the community where the Yellows play, it's brilliant.
These are my two granddads. So Grandad Tom on the left was my dad's dad. He was a Jack the Lad. He had a red Kawasaki 500 motorbike. He used to let us ride on the back of it with no helmets. He used to come and look after us. He was single. He used to go out for a cheeky fag around the back and say he was checking the weather. He would let us stay up late, rough and tumble. He had a phrase when he'd look after us saying, when the cat's away, the mice will play, which I'll never forget. And that's just basically no rules. Your mum and dad have gone now. You can stay up, drink, eat chocolate, do whatever. Really fun, amazing to be around. Couldn't ask for a better granddad, really. So in May 2006, I was actually playing golf, and I had this weird kind of feeling I wanted to go home, and I don't really understand what that feeling was, but because I'm not particularly someone who believes in this kind of thing, but I had this weird homesick feeling. Anyway, rang my mum, said, "Mum, I want to finish playing golf, come pick me up." And she came to pick me up, and my mum and my sister were crying, and my granddad had taken his own life. So he'd attempted to take his own life 6 months previously, and he'd survived. And he had a little bit of psychiatric help, but clearly not the help that he needed. He was in hospital for a little bit. And then he went ahead and took his own life. So it was the first time I saw my dad cry. I remember that, with anything traumatic, I think, in your life, you can always take yourself back to where you were. So I remember being there, seeing my dad cry. I remember the funeral really well. I look back over the funeral notes when I started doing some of this work, and it was treated very much like a normal death, which anyone who's been through the grief of suicide will understand. It's very, very different. But it was a celebration of his life, and we got through it as a family. It was hard, but we kind of muddled through. And then in October 2008, I was getting ready for school. I was about 14 at that time. Getting ready for school in the morning, eating my breakfast, doing whatever, and my grandma rang. And this is my granddad Howell, so he's the Welsh side of my family, my mum's dad. Go back to that day. We had a phone call from my grandma to say, Grandad Howell, he's not in bed, a bit out of character. So we thought he must have gone for a walk, gone to the shop, or gone to get the paper, whatever, what have you. Transpires he's in his pajamas, and then kind of alarm bells go. And you'd think, having lost Tom to suicide 16 months previously, we'd have thought, potentially that. But there was not one of us thinking that. Stayed off school, and really traumatically for my mum actually found my granddad that morning, and he had also taken his own life. He came to watch me play football the day before, and I can picture him now at the side of the post with his flat cap on, and he didn't hang around afterwards, which was uncharacteristic really. He would have hung around to chat to me or my mum or whatever, but he got off. He told my mum that night that he loved her, which was not completely uncharacteristic, but he knew what he was about to do. Didn't reach out for any help, didn't tell anybody he was struggling. And go back to my boys, I want my kids to be in a position where, if they feel like my granddads did, that they could say, I'm struggling, I need help. Because the burden of suicide, I don't know who does this research, but that's what they have done research to think that many people are affected by one suicide. So sorry for being it's quite a heavy chat, but there is some hope in the end of it. So what happened off the back of my granddad's suicide was massive for my family. It was like a bomb went off, really. Compared to Tom, it was very different. My grandma ended up having a mental health breakdown. She essentially ended up in a home, and she got sectioned all through the trauma of losing her husband to suicide. So I went to visit her as a 16-year-old in a psychiatric hospital. She thought I was the lady down the corridor screaming, but I was actually sat next to her. And this is all through the trauma of suicide, and it's why we need to be talking about it, because what my family, have been through is really hard, and there's so many families in the UK going through it. I don't want them to. I want less families to go through it.
And within the workshop, what are the key elements that you're trying to get across?
My boring life story. No, little bits that, I've learnt from being a professional sports person and taking that into life, understanding life and football can be, not the best at times. It's about building resilience and understanding that life will get better. But then there's some real key, takeaways from the Baton of Hope, which the charity here obviously supporting us, and they will give more of the clinical advice for the supporters, and I'm hoping as many as possible sign up to the training.
So I guess the key point for us is to allow all the supporters and everyone who attended tonight to understand actually what a pandemic suicide is in society, but that there is hope and it is entirely preventable, providing you've got the right toolkits and awareness, and that's what we're giving everyone tonight. It's those vital toolkits.
Everyone, I speak to so many people on this, and and people in the dressing room who've lost loved ones to suicide. If that was some bizarre accident, so like a plane, like everyone was saying, oh, I lost a loved one in a plane accident, we'd be going what is happening here? We've got to get the plane safer. We've got to fix this. There'll be a national emergency. No one would be going on planes for one, but you'd be trying to solve it. The government would be chucking everything at it. If 7,000 people a year were dying by some, bizarre thing, I can't think of the best analogy, but when I was driving in, I was thinking it's important that we continue to drum this in, and it's a hard subject to talk about, but if everyone in this room is a better person in the community in terms of being supportive for their friends and spotting, then that will bring the numbers down. We can't rely on the NHS, they're overwhelmed. So that's how we do it.
Being our principal partners, how happy are you and proud are you to be able to work alongside us with this Can We Talk campaign?
Oh, absolutely incredible. The work that Will's doing, using his voice to be able to talk about his own personal circumstances, and again resonating with myself, my own personal circumstances. I'm just so happy that the club is embracing it, supporting him, and being able to use his voice to just raise awareness about mental health and suicide awareness.
You're the first person running the London Marathon for the Baton of Hope this April. How much has the club's work with Can We Talk pushed you to raise money for the Baton of Hope and support such an incredible charity?
So for me, it was just helping raise more awareness. I've personally been affected by suicide, so it was a natural thing for me to be able to use my place to be able to raise further awareness internally, and also through my friends and family who still sometimes think there's a stigma attached. So really proud to be able to represent the Baton of Hope and Oxford United in the London Marathon, and hopefully can do it in about 3.5 hours. So I do have a Just Giving page, so I can share the details of the Just Giving page, and for me it's more about the awareness, but if we can raise funds to help support an amazing charity, that'd be great.
Yeah, we want to continue going into the schools, which I'll be doing, and then honestly I want every football club in the EFL to sign up to the work that we've been doing, the pledge through the charity, but then also with the Can We Talk campaign, other clubs seeing that this is such an important initiative, something that really gives back to the supporters that give you so much as a football club, but also looking after your own house. That's something that I'm really proud to play for Oxford, and the club is supporting me so much because we haven't just gone out into the media and spoke about these things. We've actually looked after, our house first, and that's important when you're going to go out and talk to people.